Hello and welcome to Super Great Kids Stories, wise tales from storytellers around the world, which will make you laugh and sometimes cry. Recommended for ages 5 to 105. I'm Kim and I love stories. Hello, Super Great Kids, and how are you? I'm happy because you've all been sending in some lovely pictures and messages, which always puts a wag in my tail. Also, Xin Yan Hao, that's Happy New Year in Chinese. Yes, this is the week which marks the beginning of Chinese New Year, which is also known as the Spring Festival, which tells me that it's coming to the end of winter and the beginning of spring. The birds in my garden are already singing loudly, as if to say, don't worry, spring is in the air. To mark Chinese New Year, we have a story for you, which explains why each Lunar New Year is given an animal to represent it. This is the year of the you guessed it, the snake. Each animal represents different qualities. Although a snake can be sneaky, it's also known in China for its wisdom and its elegance. So, if you were born in the year of the snake, many Chinese people believe you're likely to be wise and elegant. Last year was the year of the dragon, and in China people see the dragon as a creature which brings good luck. So lots of people were hoping to have their babies last year. And just before we start the story, which is called The Great Race, I wonder if you can think of any of the 12 animals which have a year named after them in the lunar calendar. Have a guess if you don't know, while we have a quick word with the grown-ups. Are you ready? Off you go. Hello, Super Great Kids, I'm back. I wonder if you know or managed to guess any of the animals which have a year named after them in the Chinese calendar. Here's the list. Rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, horse, snake, sheep, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. I wonder how many you got right. Well done if you already knew some of them. Now, I'm going to tell you a story from China called The Great Race, which explains why those animals in particular get to have a year named after them, and why other animals, for example, the cat, isn't included. Are you sitting comfortably? Am I sitting comfortably? Then let the story begin. Long ago in China, just before the New Year celebrations, the Jade Emperor was sleeping on a fluffy cloud and snoring happily. Meanwhile, down on Earth, all the animals were arguing. Each animal thought the new year should have a name. And surprise! Each animal thought that the new year should be named after them.
"Rah!" roared Tiger. "Look at my magnificent stripes. I'm the most muscly, magnificent beast in all of China. Of course the new year should be named after me."
Said Monkey, hopping up and down in a rage. "How dare you? I'm the most agile creature, and I can do the best acrobatics in the whole of the land, so the new year should be named after me." "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" screeched the cockerel. "Without my sweet morning song, no one would ever get up in the morning, so nothing would happen at all. Surely you nincompoops can see that I'm the most important creature in the Emperor's kingdom."
"Oh, no, you're not," snorted the pig.
"Crock-a-rock-a-roo! Oh, yes, I am," crowed the cockerel.
"Oh, no, you're not," growled the dog. Oh, yes, I am, crowed the cockerel. Not am, not am, not am.
And with that, all the animals joined in, and there was such a screeching and a crowing and a squeaking and a roaring, and all the animals made such a hullabaloo that they woke up the Jade Emperor himself. "What's all this fuss?" asked the Jade Emperor, cross to have been rudely awoken and taken out of his warm bed. "Well, Your Honour," said the dog, bowing his head, "Cockerel thinks the next New Year should be named after him, and so, for that matter, does Tiger and Monkey, and me too," oinked Pig, and meow splat. He slung some mud into the gaggle of animals who were all squabbling. "Oh, I see," said the Emperor, tugging on his long grey beard, trying to think of an answer to the problem. "Well, I'm sure we can sort this one out. I know. Can you see that big river? Why not have a race across that? Whoever wins the race can have this coming New Year named after them. And the 11 animals who reach the finish line after that will also have a year named after them." The animals thought this was a great idea. "Hurrah! It's a plan, Stan! We mean your worshipful jadiness." And the Emperor, pleased with the outcome, told the animals he'd see them the next morning and padded back to bed. At that time, the cat and the rat were best of friends. They played together, ate together, shared jokes together. They even shared their snicky snacks with each other. The cat took one look at the rushing, raging river and shivered. "Meow, Ratty."
Yes, Catty?
"Meow, Ratty. I'll never be able to swim across that huge river on my own. I'm not very good at swimming, and besides, I'm scared of all that gushing, rushing water."
Oh, don't worry, Catty. I'll think of a plan,
said Ratty, who wasn't the greatest swimmer himself, but he was clever. Ox overheard them and joined in. "With my bad eyes, I'll be constantly bumping into all the other swimmers, and I don't think I'll be able to find my way across that river very easily." Ding! Suddenly, Ratty had an idea.
I say, Oxy, how about if you give us a ride on your back and we'll show you the fastest route so you don't crash into any of the other animals swimming across?
"It's a deal, Mr. Beale," said the Ox, pleased to have found a plan that would help all of them. Ox really liked teamwork. Early the next morning, the cockerel was at it again, crowing at the top of his voice. "Cock-a-doodle-doos, you're all going to lose. Listen to me sing. I am going to win." The Jade Emperor stood on the far bank of the river and looked at the gaggle of different animals, all keen to have the year named after them. "Ready? On your marks, get set, go." And with a tremendous splash, they were off, splishing and splashing and sploshing. There was a great waggling of tails and shoving of shoulders and paddling of paws. Rat and Cat climbed up Ox's tail and onto his back and began shouting directions.
"Ready, Oxy? Right a bit, left a bit. Oh, steady, old chap. Watch out for that soggy sheep. Meow. Come on, Oxy. Make us proud. Keep your pace and we'll win the race."
And sure enough, with his friend's encouragement, the Ox began to pull a little bit ahead. Just then they heard a loud ker-thump, ker-thump, ker-thump. It was Rabbit, just behind them, jumping from one stepping stone to another. Rabbit looked certain to win, but then, ker-thump, ker-thump, ker-splash! He slipped down into the water. That might have been it for Rabbit, but miraculously a log sailed past just where he fell in. He grabbed hold of the log, and a puff of air, as if out of nowhere, saw him back in the race and heading for the bank. Squeaked Ratty from the back of Ox. "Come on, Oxy, put your shoulder into it. No pain, no gain. Nearly there, eyes on the prize and all that." Ratty was in his element. Even Catty was enjoying herself. Now she was able to watch the race from the safety of Ox's broad back. She was no longer afraid of the water. Just then they heard a loud ruckus as Horse reached the shallow water once again on the other side and found his hooves could touch the bottom. Galumph, 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 galumph. Horse was coming up full speed behind them. Just as Horse looked sure to win, the sneaky snake wriggled out underneath its hooves, "Nay!" making it rear in surprise, lose its footing, and splash! Horse was back in the river once again. Ratty hopped up and down with excitement and turned to grin at Catty. But oh dear, his tail whipped round in the frenzy and knocked his friend Catty clean off the back of Ox and meow! Splash! Down into the rushing, raging river. Luckily, Catty landed by Dragon, who was helping out all his friends, and scooped her out of the choppy waves and placed her gently on a rock. The cat howled to be taken to dry land, but everyone was in far too much of a rush to get to the other side of the river to take notice of, or even to hear, poor Catty's pitiful yowling. Just as Ox was climbing out of the river and lumbering towards the finish post, quick as a flash, cunning Ratty hopped off his back and scampered over the line. Hurrah! Hurrah! He punched the air with his little paw and began a celebration song. "A rat's body may be small, yahoo, yahoo, but we're as clever as mountains tall, yahoo, yahoo, yo. And that is how we've beaten them all, yahoo, yahoo, yo, tiddly-pom." While Ratty sang, the other animals were swimming like crazy towards the riverbank. The Jade Emperor greeted each one as they arrived. "Congratulations. This year will be the year of the rat." "Ah, unlucky Ox, you were second, but next year will be the year of the ox." Ox was happy with that result. The tiger was third to arrive, dripping and panting. Even though he's a really good swimmer, his fur was too wet and heavy and it held him back. Just then, from behind them came ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump. It was Rabbit, followed by Dragon. Kind-hearted Dragon had decided to give Rabbit a little puff of warm air to help her get to shore. So Rabbit was fourth and Dragon was fifth. Then Sneaky Snake was sixth and the Horse limped in seventh. The Goat and Monkey and the Rooster, in spite of their fighting, had decided to help each other. The Monkey had made a raft and invited Goat and Rooster to climb aboard. So they came 8th, 9th and 10th. Dog swam rather well, but got distracted by some ducks and spent too long chasing after them, so he finally paddled in 11th, with his tail still wagging and his head held high. Woof! Such fun! "Wait," said the Emperor, who was just about to finish the race. "There are only 11 animals here. We need 12. And just at that moment, the cheeky pig trotted in last, starving hungry after his great effort. Well, fair enough. Swimming does make you very hungry, doesn't it? Everybody gave 3 cheers. Hip, hip, hooray! "Well done, all of you," said the Emperor. "We have our 12 years of the lunar calendar. Hooray!" cheered all the animals. The 12 animals of the zodiac and the lunar year had been decided. Rat did another little dance for joy. But just as the animals were cheering, who should arrive but the cat, cold, wet, and furious. "Meow! Well, at least I've made it alive to the other side, but that's 2 of my 9 lives gone already," moaned the cat. "What place did I make?" "Ah, Terribly sorry, little cat, said the Jade Emperor. We've already got 12 animals across the finish line, starting with your friend Rat, who gives his name to this new year. So I'm afraid there's no years left to name after you. Cat was furious.
Ow, you dirty rat, she howled. You'll be sorry you didn't help me. I'm through with you. I'll never help you ever again.
And Cat made a pounce at Rat, and Rat, frightened and a bit ashamed, squeaked and made a dash for the nearest hole. And that is why, to this very day, Rat always has to hide from Cat in fear for his little life. And that is where this story ends. Squeak, squeak, claw, claw. That story is no more. Thank you for listening to that story. Poor old Cat, huh? Chinese New Year lasts for 15 days, so you've got lots of time to catch a parade with a dragon or a lion dancing, maybe in your town. There will be celebrations in London's Chinatown on the 1st and 2nd of February. The Lunar New Year is celebrated in lots of countries, including Vietnam, South Korea, Taiwan, Indonesia, and by Chinese people all over the world. And did you know that Chinese people believe that New Year is the birthday for all dogs? So, dogs are also fed special treats at New Year. Don't tell your dog that, or they'll be giving you that melty-eyed look. Just one little treat, please, 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 please. More fun facts about Chinese New Year in our Owlet letter for subscribers. And if you'd like to listen to another Chinese New Year story, in February last year we had Nian the Sea Monster, which explains some of the traditions behind Chinese New Year, like putting up red lanterns and setting off fireworks. Now, lots of you have joined our Owlets Club, so it's time to dip into our bag of happies and say thank you and hello to some new owlets. Let's begin in Washington State in the US to say hello to owlets Owen, who is 8, and Quinn, who is 6, who live in Sammamish near Seattle. They've been waiting very patiently to hear their names. Their favourite story was The Ghost of the Bloody Finger. But now it's Bakur and the Dragon. And staying in Seattle, let's hoot hello to 7-year-old Rosemary and Juniper, who is 4. They listen every night at bedtime and every morning on the way to school. Rosemary loves Mama Draga and Juniper is a fan of the super great scary stories. And soaring across the Irish Sea now, let's fly to Kildare in Ireland to say hello to Owlet Athena, who is 7. She likes Baba Yaga and the How and Why stories, but her favourite story is The Weeping Willow. Athena loves listening at the weekend with her mum and her dog Henry. Dogs are such good company. And let's hop across to the UK next to greet Monty, who's 8, and Caspian, who is 6. They're from Glastonbury in Somerset. They like super great scary stories, especially The Ghost of the Bloody Finger. I hope you enjoy this week's scary story, Monty and Caspian. It's told by Super Great David and it's about a scary witch. And we're putting in a lot of flying miles this week. Let's head south to Sydney in Australia to say hello to Owlet Celeste, who is 7. She listens on car journeys with her brother Laurie, who is 4. Celeste loves the Anansi stories and Nora and the Ackee fruit. And Stickwoman is an all-time favourite. And across to Grand Rapids in snowy Michigan to give a hoot out to Cecilia, who is 6.5, and Mattia, who is 4.5. Cecilia likes to listen on the drive to school in the morning. They wanted to know if I know any stories about a good witch from Italy called La Befana. Thanks for that suggestion. I'm going to look her up. We need more good witch stories, particularly since David is telling us a scary story this week about a not good witch. And heading southeast next to Ohio to say hello to Asheron, who is 7, Arwen, who is 4, and Azrael, who is 1.5. Family favourites include the Anansi and the Baba Yaga stories. They listen before bed and whenever they're out in the car. And they became owlets for Asheron's 7th birthday. Oh, I hope you had a good one, Asheron. Let's fly towards sunny California now to say hello to Bryn and June, who live in Menlo Park. They like listening on long car rides, and their favourite stories are Mama Draga, The Ghost of the Bloody Finger, The Men in Marble, and Troll Ale. Ah, yes, Troll Ale makes me laugh. Jason Buck is such a scamp. And let's go right the way across the US now to say hello to Sedona, who has just turned 6 and lives in New Hampshire. She's very excited to have finally become an owlet. She listens before bed and on long journeys, and her favourite stories include The Hat Seller and the Monkeys and all the Anansi stories. And last but certainly not least, hello to Rowan and Rose, who are twins from Topton in Pennsylvania and are celebrating their 5th birthday. Rowan's favourite story is Hey Ho, and Rose's is Ratoncito Perez. Good stories. Hope you have a happy day and welcome to the club. Our pick of the week, super great artist, goes to 7-year-old Vinny from St. Clair Shores near Detroit in the US. Vinny has drawn a very imaginative illustration of the ghost of the bloody finger. I love the way you've drawn the upstairs and the downstairs of the haunted house, with the ghost floating creepily upstairs to find the sleeping man and dripping blood from its finger as it goes. The man certainly looks very alarmed, but the poor ghost is crying and the man looks as if he might be throwing him a plaster, or a band-aid in American speak. An excellent drawing. Thank you, Vinny. More Owlet welcomes next week. Thank you for your patience. Send your pictures via our website at supergreatkidstories.com, and we can share your pictures with other story lovers on our Facebook page, facebook.com/supergreatkidstories, and on our Instagram art gallery at supergreatkids_art. And thanks to all of you who are subscribing to our podcast. It's only £3 a month, less than $4, to get advert-free and access to the scary stories. And if you pay for the next tier up, you get ad-free plus over 45 bonus stories and at least 30 super great scary stories. Plus, you'll get access to our Super Great Kids Stories Express with short introductions, no adverts, purely story. Great for listening to stories back to back. And did you know that you can now gift a Patreon membership? Visit our website for more details, supergreatkidstories.com. Keep telling your stories and singing your songs. Listen out for the birds singing to tell us that spring is on its way. And look out for our bonus and super great scary stories for owlets this weekend. Happy listening and telling. This podcast was produced at Wardour Studios in fabulous Fitzrovia in London.